You ever heard of Danny Hodge?
That's one of the questions I was going to ask you about was Danny Hodge as well. Please, yeah.
He was a boxer. Well, when I first started wrestling, I started in Tennessee. And on Friday, we'd come into Memphis and we'd stay at the Admiral Benbow. And that's the reason I was so blessed. I was an 18-year-old kid, like I said, in the man's game. But they all treated me. I'd go, instead of having to sit in my room and stuff, I'd go hang out with them, and I just thought that was so cool. And Danny Hodge, how you see him bust him apples? You know how you see him do that?
Yeah.
Well, a lot of people, they'd take razor blades and cut them where they would bust. But Danny Hodge, he had that he could for real take and squeeze that apple and bust it. He told me one time he was out in Amarillo, Texas, and them roads they're flat, go for miles and miles. Anyway, he run off a bridge. He fell asleep, run off a bridge. His car flipped, and it had water in it. And he was in the car. He had to kick his windshield out and his neck, but he had a broke neck. His neck was broke. I'll tell you how much of a man he is. I'd have had to lay there and drown probably. But he kicked the windshield out, held his neck, got to the bank, had to crawl up the bank, and they found him laying on the side of the road. He was still holding his neck and still wrestled after all of that.
Yeah, he's an amazing man. I mean, I've heard he used to bust pliers in half just with his bare hands, that kind of thing.
That's art. It's gone.
Mm.
It's like old school and new school. Old school, we were all our own characters. You know what I'm saying? Ox Baker. You could. Vince ain't gonna find nobody in the world that look like Ox Baker. That was Ox Baker, and looked like a Neanderthal. And of course, when I started, he was older and his knees was bad. He couldn't move good, but they'd show that face on TV, and he'd cut that promo, and it'd be sold out that night. And like I wrestled him quite a bit after he got older, and of course I was quick, so I would work around him, and he'd do his stuff. But then people still believed in him,
With Ox Baker, now, didn't he have the sort of bad/good fortune of have two people that he worked with die practically immediately after?
I know one, and it may have been two. I'm not positive. You know more about that than I do.
Yeah, I'll move back off Ox Baker and just mention one thing about Danny Hodge. Is I hear that Danny Hodge is one of those guys that not only the drunks in bars and stuff would go and start a fight with, but other wrestlers would try and test themselves against Danny Hodge and thought nothing of him because he was 210 pounds, let's say.
Yeah, oh yeah, but he was 210 pounds all man. And plus he had been a professional boxer before he started wrestling, so he was pretty doggone tough.